All right, Chapter 6 discussion question. As the principal of a school, you assign staff members to supervise both students arriving at school in the morning and leaving school in the afternoon. Discuss when students become your responsibility in the morning and when does your responsibility end after school. Don't forget to address after-school activities. And finally, creatively discuss how you as a principal ensure proper supervision using assigned staff members. So, duty of school personnel before school hours. Administrators have the responsibility for ensuring that the campus is safe for early arriving students. Students and their parents should be informed of the behavior that is expected of students when arriving before or remaining after school. Once students are informed, some type of periodic supervision should occur to ensure that students are behaving appropriately and are not engaged in potentially harmful activities. Liability involving school personnel for injuries sustained before the school day begins would be based on a number of factors, such as the age and maturity of the students gathering on campus and the chances for them to engage in prohibited activities. If the students are relatively mature and are inclined to follow directives from the school administrators and teachers regarding appropriate behavior, then the standard of care would not be as high as if it was the case if these students were younger or less mature or more inclined to be involved in pranks or prohibited activities.
Now moving to duty of school personnel after school hours. In general, school staff are not obligated to provide extensive supervision once the school day ends, beyond what is considered reasonable. However, if a teacher or administrator notices students engaging in possibly harmful behaviors on their way home after school, they should intervene by alerting the students about the potential dangers and advising them to stop the risky behavior. It is crucial for teachers and administrators to address unsafe situations involving students even outside school hours, as they must anticipate possible harm despite not directly supervising the students at that moment.
Before going on to the next section, I would kind of like to know if the other members of our class, or for you as well, we have an establishment of an after-school program through a grant that our students are able to go to that is still on school premises. So we don't see a lot of the dangers that are happening because we have a lot of supervision until parents are able to pick up students. So it would be interesting to hear for the other school districts that do not have the opportunity to have an after-school program, if they're seeing a lot of dangerous activity or things that are going on with the students outside of school hours.
Yeah.
Duty of school personnel after school activities. So after school transportation and activities require the supervision of school personnel. Written procedures need to be put in place, and all school personnel, parents, and students are made aware of expectations during after school activities. So if students are having to travel for a school affiliated activity, it's pertinent that parental consent is given by a written signature on a form that has the description of the activity. It has the agenda pertaining to the specified activity, procedures, along with other key information available to the parents. School personnel need to follow bus codes. Transportation needs to be district owned, cannot be using your own vehicles. And all school staff are responsible for making sure that student conduct meets required standards. So students need to be informed on procedures before, during, and after the activity, along with during field trips. Chaperones are also made known of the expectations and the protocol concerning student behavior during the supervised school trip. So some kind of important components that we want to remember is the bus is coordinated and approved. There is written consent from the parents, so they are made aware of everything pertaining to that activity. And there is agenda, protocols, and expectations are made known as well by the students and the school personnel.
Something to add to that in terms of after school activities, I'm thinking like sports. I help coach junior high football, and our administrator and our principal superintendent had all sit down with our junior high football coaches dealing with junior high boys, and say whenever, so they get out at 2:45 to go to practice, get dressed out and all that other stuff, we have to have a coach in there right away at 2:45. And then when practice is over, we have to, one of us out of the four, have to go up there and make sure monitoring the locker room, hallways, and everything like that, right when we get done. So that was kind of the duty that I thought of while we were explaining and discussing that topic as well.
And that is
You
so important. I'm so sorry, Nathan, not to cut you off. You
go
would
ahead,
think
Megan.
obviously getting into junior high, I feel like they revert a little bit as far as their maturity. We had
Yeah.
an issue with they were not supervised and it was during football season and there were pictures that were taken and put on social media of inappropriateness going on in the locker room. So very, very important to have supervision there.
Yeah.
Alex, do you come up with a schedule for who's supervising what days?
So we kind of go week by week. Actually, the person that supervises it before practice, normally has their plan period right before we have practice. So he is always in there right away. So he takes that. And then the other three, we kind of rotate weeks, doing the after practice supervision. So that's kind of how we do that.
Gotcha. All right, so ensuring proper supervision using assigned staff members. The building principal has the responsibility and will be held accountable providing proper supervision using assigned staff members. Now, to accomplish a safe and school environment before, during, and after school, principals must provide all staff members with clear expectations and procedures. These expectations will give staff members the policies and procedures to correctly perform supervision and explain their job description. To ensure proper supervision, ongoing training should be provided through professional development. This time could be spent going over certain situations and how to properly handle them. Now, this also involves coaches and sponsors who will be handling supervision at practice and events. Lastly, we discussed that a rotating schedule should be used, just like Alex and I talked about, so that all staff members share their responsibility, keep supervision fresh, and reduce burnout. These strategies will give all staff members the proper information and guidance to ensure safe supervision during school. So here are some tips. Building principals are responsible for proper supervision. Staff members should be provided with clear expectations and procedures. Ongoing training will be provided through professional development. At our school, I know we use the Safe School, so you go through the modules on your own, and you have so many to do per quarter. A rotating schedule to ensure all staff members have knowledge and practice for proper supervision. And the goal is that members share the supervision responsibility to keep it fresh and to reduce the burnout. And that is the Chapter 6 discussion question. Stay classy, EDU 655.